Hey YouTube, welcome to another intermediate series lesson. Today I want to talk about developing your bass drum foot. I've gotten a few requests to just do a video just on exercises I use to develop bass drum speed and bass drum control. So I want to do that. Now these couple of exercises I do are nothing unique. I wish they were. Um, most drummers do these exercises or some variation of it. But anyway, I'll still I still want to do a video on it. Okay, so the first one involves playing the hands with the bass drum. So you could think of this as eighth notes or 16th notes, but doing I'm going to be thinking of it as 16th notes. Doing 16th notes with your right hand with your bass drum also playing 16th notes. So they'll be playing in unison together. So doing like a measure on your right hand, and a measure on your left hand, and then a measure alternating, and your foot is playing with your hand. Okay, so let me do that slowly so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's a basic exercise. All right, so I did it really slowly. Uh, and I would do at least a measure before you switch to from your right to your left to alternating, or or you could do multiple measures. Okay, but your goal is that you're able to keep your bass drum nice and tight with your hands without them flamming. Okay, and that's tough. It is tough, especially when you start to go faster. And you also want to make sure that you're not like stiffening up with your hands, okay? Like going like this to have more control. You want to keep the strokes in your hands just as smooth and loose, using the rebound stroke uh, as if your bass drum wasn't playing with it, okay? So what I mean is, when I have a lot of students do this exercise, they'll do something like this. Check this out. Okay, so due to a lack of control, they'll automatically hold the sticks really tight. Okay, just so they feel like they have better control over what's going on. So you want to make sure we can do it that your hands, even though we're concentrating on building our foot here, this exercise will also help build control between your hands and your feet. Okay, so you just want to make sure your hand strokes are nice and even and fluid, and make sure you're still using that rebound stroke. Okay, so let me do the exercise one more time at a more medium tempo so you can hear that. Okay, so part two of the exercise is now, instead of your hands and your feet playing in unison, we're now going to offset them. So it's going to be hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot on the right hand for a measure or two, or however long you want to go. Then go to the left hand, hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot, and then alternate hand, foot, right foot, right foot, left foot. Okay, so I'm going to do that really slowly for you so you can check that out. Okay, so that's the exercise. Okay, and again, I would only go as fast as you again have control. That being the kind of the magic word in this video, control over what your limbs are doing. Okay, and then you can even piece the whole exercise together where you do the unison version, do part one, do that, and then immediately go into part two. So build the exercise and build variations off of it, however you want to. Okay, so that's a really good exercise. All right. Now from there, another one that I really like to do, and this is really simple. Okay, and again, this will work your bass drum foot substantially, while also building control between your hands and your feet. So you're just going to do eighth notes on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and you're just going to play straight 16th notes on the bass drum. Okay, that's it. Very easy. Okay, but there's a difficulty here because you got to make sure that all the pieces line up. Okay, and again, only go as fast as it's clean and you have control over everything. So I'm going to start off slow and then I'll go a little bit faster. But this is an easy one to understand, but maybe a little bit harder to execute. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. I started off slow, I sped it up, and then I slowed it back down, sped it up, slowed it down. And the goal is to hopefully keep it clean, okay? And again, only go as fast as it's clean and controlled, okay? And you notice my hands are still, as I said in the previous exercise, my hands are nice and loose, okay? And that's what you want, all right? If you have control issues, you'll immediately know that your hands will clench up and they'll be really tight when playing these exercises. So that's your kind of your red flag or your indicator that there's some control issues there, okay? So just be really conscientious of that and just try to stay loose, okay? And if you're at a tempo that you're able to play, but again, your hands are real tight, dial it back a little bit until you get to a speed where you're able to keep your hands nice and loose. Okay, that's really important. Okay. All right. So from there, what you could then do is just take various beats that are busy on the bass drum, and and play them for a long period of time at a relatively fast tempo. Okay. Now I'm not going to go through all of these. I mean, because they're just the amount of different ideas you could come up with here is infinite practically. But just pick a couple of grooves that you like where the bass drum is busy. Okay? It could be anything. Anything will work. And just play it for a long period of time, for a couple minutes straight or something. And, playing it at a relatively fast tempo, but again, only as fast as it's controlled and it's clean. Really, when you're talking about trying to build up your bass drum or your hands, I mean, you want to think of this like working out. The only way to build up the speed and the muscles in your shin and ankle, as well as the muscles in your fingers, wrists, and arms, whatever you're working on, is by repetition. Taking exercises and doing them over and over, so your various limbs get faster and stronger. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of basic ideas of grooves that I like that work really well. Okay, and I'll start them off slow, and then I'll speed them up a little bit, and I'll slow them back down. Okay, so here's one. Okay, so there's an example of a groove I like. It's really simple, right? Just do do chat, do 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 chat, do 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 chat, do 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 chat. Now I'm not doing eighth notes. In order to play it fast, I'm switching to my ride pattern being quarter notes. Um, but that's a really good one. Okay, and especially if you play a lot of various forms of rock, you're going to play at fast tempos. So it's nice to be able to do relatively complicated bass drum passages at those speeds. So that's a really good one. Okay, that you can do. Another groove that I like that sounds good um, goes like this. All right, it's probably easier for me to just play it for you, but let's try this example. Okay, and here's another which is slightly different than that one. And so on and so forth. Okay, so just come up with beats. 2 and 4 rock, funk type beats where the bass drum's somewhat busy. Okay, and then just try to play it quickly. Okay, so that's something I like to do. The last thing is in the intermediate hand-foot combination fill video I did a fill on there where the sticking is right, left, foot, foot. Okay, that's not only a good fill, of course, but it's a good exercise. Okay, because it works on that double, which is really important to get good at on your bass drum. So that's a good one. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so there you go. All right, so there's a couple of suggestions, and again, these are just a handful of ideas. So I hope that helps. Okay, so finding a nice combination of different fills, beats, and exercises can give you a wide range of useful tools to help develop your bass drum foot. Okay, so experiment. All right, the biggest thing is, in general, you just want to go only as fast as it's controlled and clean. Okay, and try, so whatever that max speed is, try to get just a hair under it. Okay, and then just see if you can sustain it, and do it for long periods of time. Okay, and so yes, you should feel some warmth and muscle burn in your ankle, as well as that the lower shin of your right foot. Okay, so if you do, then that's good. That means you're working those muscles. Okay, so there you go. So that basically wraps up the video. So nothing unique, but these are the things that I do, and even something simple. If just to kind of tell you a funny story, when I was in high school, the exercise that I used to do, which is similar to what I've already showed you in the video, but slightly different, and my parents allowed me to do this. I would go down and just sit there and just do my foot over and over really fast, like 16th notes, for like 30 minutes or an hour straight. I wouldn't do anything with the hands. I would do my homework on my snare drum. I would sit there and eat dinner on my snare drum. I was trying to build up my bass drum. So, you could even mix this exercise with something else if time was a problem. So maybe something like this. Let me kind of give you a little flashback here. Okay, so as you can see, pretty funny, right? But that's what I used to do, and I would do it for like 30 minutes or an hour straight, until my so my ankle and lower leg were just throbbing. Okay, I'm not suggesting you need to do that, but that's just some of the crazy stuff that I did when I was younger to try to build up speed and such. So anyway, be creative. Okay, have the biggest thing is have fun with it. Have a variety of things, and it'll definitely it'll do you well. All right, and your foot will thank you for it. Okay, so we'll see you guys. Hope that helped. We'll see you.